So welcome to week 4. We made it. We did 3 full weeks, guys. Oh yeah. We're still doing some entries and looking at all the statistics over the past couple of weeks, but I think I'm on like 800 or 900 entries for the past 3 weeks. That means 870 something activities that over 90 people have accomplished. So that's pretty awesome. We've got a few people that have like 25 entries. We have a few people that are at like 22, all the way down to, 3, yeah, 2. But yeah, they're getting phone calls this week. But it's so fun to go through it and just look at each person as we're putting in all these entries to see what everybody's doing. Seeing you guys showing up and having fun. The pictures, some of the pictures that are showing up on Facebook and social media, and some of the testimonials are awesome. So I love that you guys are having fun and playing and trying new things. Lita and I, we do this every year, twice this year, and it's a new experience every time. Every time we do it, it's a new experience, there's new energy, and I love the energy that you guys are bringing to the Santa Cruz Challenge this year. So I absolutely love it. It's so much fun. So, Pilates week. This week is Pilates week, so I think that all of you guys, and if you haven't, just holler at me, for Breathe Deeply Pilates, what they want you to do is sign up on their website. And I think all the classes are full by now, so if you haven't gotten into a class and you want one, always let me know, okay? For the CrossFit classes, I think I added about 17 more classes for CrossFit. So check out, that's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And we're starting, I think, not next week, but the following week, or maybe 1 week out. And there's gonna be like 7 weeks of CrossFit, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So again, I'm asking people to sign up for 2 classes for CrossFit, and then if you can jump into another class, I'm saying, kind of watch the schedule. Some people are doing early cancels. If something comes up and you want to do it, then jump in and go do it. But don't sign up for it way ahead of time. Total for CrossFit. Yeah, because there's a lot of us. Yes, please. Take a couple. 2 to 3. Like if you're really interested in it, do 3 classes. It's totally fine. I think we have enough space to do that. If you're just kind of curious and you want to try it out, do 2. But if you know you like it, this is something that you're just really interested, do 3 classes. I think we'll be okay for that. Coastline Pilates, I put up all of their classes. They're, again, another studio that's just really small and limited, with the limited spaces. So if there's something there that you're not getting into, we can't really change the times on those. So if the time works for you and you want to try the class, but there's not a space, then let us know. We can see if there's something else we can do. All of the studios want to work with us. They want to work with you. So always let us know. No?
Good job, Amy.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Wow.
This is a really important lecture to me on a lot of levels. The Health Lecture series is designed for you to scan your life and go deeper in these areas. People will come in and see Michelle and I for stress, pain, and for instance, stress. Dr. Tony Fleck will talk about stress, but we can have someone zen out of our clinic feeling great, but if the stress is based around something, we can't really touch that. Hence the financial healthy lecture. So if you're stressed about money, if you have too much money, you're totally stressed about it. Or vice versa. I'm serious. Or vice versa. It's about energy. So I feel really passionate about these 2 topics tonight. Number 1 is that Americans tend to do too much. We become these human doings and not human beings. And I feel that a lot of us have been very handle those ends. And I think about what is it like to live a lifestyle of sustainability at like more of a higher vibration and higher level. And so Dr. Tanya will talk about adrenals and talk about stress and talk about what it's like that you might not even realize your potential and how good you can actually feel. Okay? And then, Sage, again, it's energy is money. Money is time. It's all very similar. And so I feel that when you take a look at your beliefs, the stories that you learned around money, the stories that you tell yourself, it's amazing how free it can be and the flow can come towards you. It's really amazing. So I'm really, really excited about this. And does anyone have any questions? Because I know you guys can email us, and we have been getting emails that have been great. The questions have been spot on. Does anyone have any questions right now?
As we're entering and getting points, are we supposed to do something with those points, or those are just accumulated?
Great question.
But what do I do?
Can't find anything. You're like, ah! No, it's good. So basically tonight, so after the two speakers, we will draw names for the raffles. And so if you participated in a certain amount, and I went over that point sheet, if you participate in a certain amount of classes, you get a point for each class, right? And then if you post on Facebook or write a review or testimony, you get more points.
Right.
So,
about 17 or something.
right. So what the system does, the software that we use, it tracks all that. So we don't have to. And then it spits out a nice Excel spreadsheet, and we use a random numerator. It's a random generator numerator. Do you guys know about that? Okay, Alexis, you know. So, and then it picks a random number.
Okay.
And then if you,
So I don't need to do anything.
you don't need to do anything.
Okay, that's what I want. Okay, good.
So Listen 360, I'll add one more thing before you can take our stage here. And use Listen 360 because I really want to give that to our students, our sponsors. That's what keeps this program going on the other end. You guys keep it going on this end, and on the other end, for them, when you like them or you have some kind of feedback, anything, give us some feedback so that we can give that to them. They love that. We love it. I mean, okay, I'll say this every time you hear me on stage. Okay, every time we do something good, we want to let you know. And it feels good. So let's let them know as well. Let's use the Listen 360 app, and each time you do that, we're going to put your name into the hat for the prizes that we're going to do. What's the Listen 360? So that's the email that you get. Sorry, not the app. That's the email that you get every time you check in with us.
Oh, okay, did I answer?
Yeah, and you answer. Okay, so we have New Leaf marketing coupons. So basically, throughout the duration of the program, you get a coupon every week to shop in their store, and that coincides with a couple of new tours that we're doing. And I think, oh no, the cookie classes aren't ending. And then the other thing was, I guess what we'll do is whatever else I want to say, we'll say it after the talk.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So I want to introduce you to Sage. Who doesn't know Sage? Big hands. Awesome. Great. How exciting. So she has been a part of our program since the beginning almost?
I think so.
The beginning. You've been a speaker on a different topic as a coach, and also she's been a participant and is participating in the triathlon track. And she will hopefully give a little bit of history, but she is an inspiration on all levels. From, is it history teacher?
Science.
Science, okay, some sort of science teacher in Eugene, Oregon, to now a international speaker, coach. I mean, really just launched the Spiritual Entrepreneur Academy that she donated to you guys, whoever participated in the spring. I know a few of us went down there, and just amazing. So she is here to take what she's learned from being a teacher to now a millionaire and download some really simple but profound spiritual truths, I would say, on how you can start to move forward to having a great relationship, even better than ever relationship with money. Okay? And I will introduce Tanya after stage, but if this is your first time here, we're pretty relaxed. We do like people to come forward, so you can take out some chairs. Bathrooms are in the back, and water is in the back. And I'll be in the back if anyone has any questions. Do you need water? Have some here. Okay. So please, let's go ahead and stand up.
And if you are in the back 2 rows, if you can just grab your stuff and come up to the first 2 rows, that would help both Tanya and I out. There's something about talking to empty chairs that always doesn't quite serve the overall feeling of abundance, yes? How many of you would love to have, and we just need a few more people in these chairs. If you're in the back row, just go ahead and move on up. Thank you so much. Are you guys enjoying the challenge this year? Yes. Are we so glad that Lita and Michelle answered the prayer? Right? I don't know about you, but like the gym just does not do it for me. Like I just am not inspired at the gym. Can we just blow them a kiss for everything that they've said yes to? Mwah. Yeah, like they've worked hard to put this together. You guys get that, right? Like it really takes something. So to blend all the holistic education and the beach workouts and everything they're giving us. So I'm loving it. I'm doing it alongside you guys. So how many of you, I'm curious, love money? And how many of you know that you might be able to love money even more? And how many of you know that like working on your relationship with money could benefit you? And how many of you are just like, fuck money, I really would rather not have to use it at all. Excuse my language. Okay, a little bit of that. Have you ever had a moment in your life when you're like, screw it, I wish we could just live in utopia and just trade, right? Yeah, I totally get it. I just was down in Ecuador with Lynn Twist and the Pachamama Alliance. Are any of you familiar with it? So they've raised millions of dollars for the rainforest in Ecuador, and my organization this year raised about $30,000 to contribute, which led me to get invited on their leader trip, which led me to spend 12 days with the Achuar people who have no real concept of money. And it was some of the most regenerating 12 days of my life. And so I'm in that place of feeling grateful for what I've created and also being in touch with like what's really important. You know what I mean? So I believe, and I'm guessing some of you do as well, that making money can be a spiritual journey. It really can. And the relationship that we cultivate with money, it can be spiritual. It can be what, please? Spiritual. Thank you for playing with me. So there's a way that when you repeat back and when you get involved in the learning, there's Russian science research that shows you'll remember 10 times more. So I'm going to pull on your energy tonight. So I just want to talk a little bit about what it really means to be financially free. What is your relationship with money? How can you cultivate a healthier relationship with money? And tell you a little bit about my journey. And I want to do an exercise with you tonight that I do with my clients that's actually going to help you physically rewire your relationship around giving and receiving money. Does that sound good? Yes. So what I'm curious about first is what's been hardest. And we imported my slides into Keynote, so some of them are messed up, but we can roll with that, yes? Yes. So what I want to know first, just to start us off, is like what's been hardest about money? And if you could say that in one word, we're just going to go down the aisles very, very quickly. And just think for you, like what's one word or phrase that describes what's been hardest about money? I don't want the backstory. I just want the energy of it. And we're going to start here and just snake around. Loud and proud. Just whatever, like there's not enough, or
Not enough.
okay. Theft. Debt. Waste? Yeah, right?
Work too hard.
Okay. Nice and loud, you guys.
Priority.
Mm-hmm.
Balance.
Mm-hmm.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And I know we're oversimplifying.
Effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Managing.
Yeah.
Limited. Greed.
Mm-hmm. You can repeat. Okay.
Responsibility.
Uh-huh.
Feeling.
Uh-huh.
Expectations.
Uh-huh.
I would say managing and tracking.
Uh-huh.
Not enough.
Uh-huh.
Scary. Trust.
Security.
Mm-hmm.
Balance.
Mm-hmm.
Feel.
Fear. Mm-hmm.
Lack.
Yep.
Independent.
Yeah. I can relate with all of those. So some of the words that come up in my workshops are the following, including some of the words that you came up with. And we all have experiences in our life that have led us to making conclusions about money that really we never should have had to go through, right? Painful, really painful experiences. Now, we don't have enough time, obviously, to do like deep self-growth clearing work and wring out all the guttural dredges of your money experiences. And a couple of the exercises we'll do tonight can help you shift in a moment when you catch yourself being in that old programming around money and just put something new into place. It's just a great start. To be aware when you're putting an energy on what is essentially a neutral substance. Money is paper. It's essentially neutral. And it's human beings that give it its significance. And because most of us are really intuitive and intelligent, we also pick up on how the world relates to money. And we end up bringing that energy into our daily experience with money. So one of my favorite things to do with money is when I give it away, I put a new energy on it. So when I write my rent check, I write sanctuary on the memo line. Sounds cheesy, but I'm rewiring myself between I'm having to kick down a couple $1,000s a month for rent or mortgage or whatever it is, and I'm celebrating my sanctuary. I'm celebrating my what, please? Sanctuary. So when you hand over money at Whole Foods or at Safeway, it's like you're nourishing your body. Can you hand over your credit card with the energy of nourishment versus like, oh, $212, too many kids at home to feed, you know? So there's a line in the Bible, we're in a spiritual center right now, there's a line in the Bible that says that Jesus said that if you even have the faith of a mustard seed, if you have a faith of a what, please? Mustard seed. It's a little itty bitty little thing. That much shift in your thinking can actually bring about a whole new relationship with money. So as I've worked my own way through empowerment money tools, and as I've taught my clients to do the same, I've taken many clients from not having a business at all to having a six-figure company. I've started, of course I'm not always perfect either, to have this kind of energy around money. That money is a learning journey, that I can give with money, that money can give me freedom. So write down 3 of these, just jot them down. You can write them down in your iPhone, you can jot them down on a pad of paper, or just make note. What are 2 or 3 of these that you can go to the next time you feel the fear, the scarcity, the limited, the association with hard work that you're previously in? If you're in debt, I highly recommend picking up the book by Stuart Wilde that's called The Trick to Money is Having Some. The book itself is a cellular reprogramming around what debt is and who's really responsible. It shines the light on credit card companies. It shines the light on the American lie about money and credit. And if you are in debt, I really recommend picking it up because it'll help you. It helped me eliminate about $12,000 of debt, and it's helped some of my clients eliminate much, much more debt than that. The Trick to Money is Having Some by Stuart Wilde. So a quick background about my journey. Like Lita said, I was a science teacher from Oregon, making $32,000 a year. And I hated the standardized testing, and I hated all the meetings, and I hated the long hours, and I wanted more freedom. So I decided to quit my job. Now, I had people telling me, just follow your bliss and the money will follow. And I was like, screw off. You have no idea what that means. Like, how am I really supposed to make a living? Can anybody relate? Like, what does that really mean? Follow your bliss and the money will happen. Raise your hand if you can relate to that. So I decided to put myself through a year-long experiment. And I took some savings, and I moved into my grandpa's motorhome, and I lived with, $30,000 in the bank, and I burned all the way through that money. I had debt to pay off as well, and I decided to do what I wanted to do, just what I wanted to do, and I figured at the end of this year, if I need to go back and get a teaching job, I will. So the first thing I really wanted to do was paint. I'm an artist, and I knew I didn't want to make a living as an artist, so part of me was like, why am I doing this? Like, why? But that's what I wanted to do. Like, it was really alive in me. Meanwhile, I was getting a life coaching certificate. I was doing yoga teacher training. I was studying energy healing. But I really just wanted to paint. So I let myself paint for 3 months. And within those 3 months, I came up with half a dozen pieces of artwork that I was able to sell in natural food stores and make about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. I caught the attention of a really well-known artist who said not very many people are able to start painting and 4 or 5 months later be selling their artwork for $1,500 or $2,000 a month. And I'm like, but I can't even live on $2,000 a month. And she's like, yeah, but like you did this in less than 6 months. Will you come teach a class for my artists on how you were able to do that? And I was like, okay. I had more fun putting together that class than I had doing any of those paintings. Meanwhile, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. But teaching that class gave me a clue, because I was more lit up and more on fire about that class than I had been about anything in a long time. So that helped me understand that one of the things I love to do is help creative people make money. I now work with artists and coaches and healers and entrepreneurs, and I help them package their services in a way that people will pay for. Now, I'm a school teacher from Iowa, and I'm running a company in Santa Cruz out of my Ocean View bungalow that generates over 7 figures in profits every year. Now, I don't get to keep all that money, but I don't have a problem with money, and the best part is that I've been able to give back in amazing ways. We generate tens of thousands of dollars for humanitarian organizations, and that's what I'm most proud of. And what I invite each of you into knowing is that you are going to be the same person with money. I resisted money and kept myself separate from money for a long time. And what I've come to understand is that money is like a tool. It's like a hammer. You can use that hammer to build a house. You can also use that hammer to tear down a house. So you're going to be the same person with money, and you'll be able to do more good on the planet. Now, some of you aren't necessarily interested in starting a business and making more money. You're just interested in generating and cultivating a healthier relationship so that you can allocate correctly, you can feel really good about where you're spending, and you can feel really good about where you're saving, yes? So give someone a high five and say, money is your friend. So my abundance workaround, because research will tell you that people will top out at a certain income level. Research will tell you that people will top out at a certain income level. And the New York Times did a study where they ran 2 identical ads for a computer programmer, identical. And one was for $30,000 a year and one was for $90,000 a year. Guess which one got more applications? 30,000 got like 7 times more applications, identical ads. So what I know is that when we do this work, we can just start valuing ourselves more, and we can start seeing places in our lives where we might be able to ask for a raise or create an extra income stream. Now, my workaround for the upper limit that we all face in terms of money, we literally get like a financial set point, which I'm going to help you look at for yourself, is to find some way that you want to give back that's bigger than yourself. Because research shows that women and most heartfelt men tend to top out at a certain income level once their family's basic needs are met if they don't have something bigger for themselves that they're donating their money to. So that's my little plug for finding, even if it's $25 a month, finding somewhere where you can give back. Tithing works. You've heard Lita say this. You've heard this at Inner Light Ministries. Once I started tithing, I noticed money coming back to me again and again and again. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes. So this was a group of women in Indonesia that we raised enough money to get a safe house for, and you can see the picture of the house here. Here's me with some of the women I've raised money for in Ecuador and Indonesia. Romero is one of the Achuar people in the jungle, and that is Lynn Twist, who is like my shiro for fundraising. If you haven't read The Soul of Money, raise your hand if you've read The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. Okay, so that's number 2 on your reading list. It's one of those books that I really believe everyone should read. It's so, you know, she got to be with Mother Teresa for like a month of her life. She got to really look at the world's biggest problems and take a huge bite out of what that is to make a difference as one woman. And she gives tangible, practical advice for anyone, no matter what income level, to just start shifting your consciousness around money. So it's called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. It's actually my favorite book, like my top 1 favorite book. So this is what I do now. This was our last workshop at the Asilomar Conference. I had 220 women entrepreneurs from all over the world, and we're helping them all start their businesses. If you want to find out more about what I do and how to come to one of my business workshops, I'll let you know at the end. So pull out a $1 bill if you have one, and if you don't have one, I have some. So pull out a $1 bill, and if you don't have one, come up and get one. Don't be shy. I got money for you. I got money for you. I got money for you. Yeah. I got money for you. Everybody needs a $1 bill. And go ahead and stand up and set everything on your chairs. I got money for you. All right, everybody needs a $1 bill. Everybody got one? Okay, so who wants to demo this with me? Tanya, will you come up? All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to rewrite our programming around money. So how many of you have ever had anybody like throw money at you when they owe it to you and they're just like, ugh? Anybody ever had anything like that happen? No. Right? So that leaves a lasting imprint if that's happened to you, and it might not have happened to you. How many of you feel like somebody's handed you money and it just kind of feels like there's not like a huge blessing with it? And raise your hand if you've ever had to give somebody money and it's like, oh God, I have to give this to you and I really don't have it to give. Anybody ever had anything like that? So this is going to be a chance to really reprogram that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to infuse our money with the blessing that we want the person in front of us to receive. Now, all of you are very intuitive, so I don't want you to give the same blessing to everyone, because when you look at the person in front of you, I want you to consider what is it that this person might need to receive around money. And so I'm going to say, hi, I'm Sage. And then you say your name.
Hi, I'm Tanya.
Tanya, I bless this money with leadership and with healing and with vitality. And I give it to you.
Thank you.
And now you're going to bless yours and give it to me.
Thanks.
You can put it in your bra.
Hi, Sage. I bless this money with connection and abundance and fulfillment.
Thank you. And then you get to take this money, and it has all this yummy energy in it, and then you get to bless it and give it to somebody else, and they're going to bless theirs and give theirs to you. And I want you to do at least 3 money blessings. How many, please? 3. So no small talk, no cross talk, just the blessing, and then you move on to the next person. You get it? Okay, enjoy. Thank you. Beautiful challengers. Who wants to share how was that for you? Yeah, stand up.
Amazing. It was amazing. I felt really good and special and very thankful to have all of you here to do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give you a kiss. Money's about receiving. Can you receive one more kiss from us? Actually receive? So this is important, really. You guys, I've noticed that somewhere in my life where I'm not receiving will affect other places in my life where I'm not receiving. So if you notice where there's somewhere in your life that you're not receiving, work on it. It'll help bring in more money. If you deflect compliments, I'm sure none of you ever do that. All right, who else wants to share what that experience was like for you? Yeah?
That's cool. Because when I worked with the first one, she said one of the things that I wrote down with ease.
Isn't that interesting how sometimes people say the thing that you actually need the most? Right. That's my favorite part of this exercise. Let's give you a kiss. All right, so there are 4 money types. I actually adapted this from T. Harv Eker's work. The avoider, the overspender, the hoarder, and the money monk. So I just want you to categorize yourself in which one you think your primary is, and then most people have a secondary, and we all have all 4 of these in us, just so you know. So just a quick rundown, the avoider. is classified by, I don't want to look at my bills, I don't want to look at it, I don't want to look at my credit card statements, I don't want to look at how much is coming in, I don't want to look at how much is going out because it all feels a little scary. The overspender, what do you think the overspender does? I'm just going to spend. We'll figure it out next month. The hoarder doesn't tend to buy things for themselves. This is your friend that always goes shopping with you and is like, you should buy this, and then they never buy anything. The money monk is the one of us who sort of believes that, like, namaste means no money. So out of those four, raise your hand if you feel like the one that you know you have the biggest problem with would be that you know you go to the most is that you're an avoidance of money. Raise your hand if you know that's probably your biggest one. Raise your hand if you feel like overspending is your biggest one. Raise your hand if hoarding. And raise your hand if money monk. I can relate. Oh, Rebecca. Rebecca is my partner's not daughter, but stepdaughter, and she's here visiting us from Germany, and she sometimes goes and works at Esalen. So I think there's a lot of money monks at Esalen. So here's your homework. Here's your homework. If you are an avoider, once a week, you need to start sitting down with all your bills, sitting down with the money that's coming in, and start looking. I will tell you it's scary, especially if you don't feel like you have enough. But in the act of looking, something changes. Because what we resist persists. And what we focus on expands. What we focus on what, please? Expands. Money loves attention. I promise you. It's not magic. It's just quantum physics. Money loves attention. It wants a place in your life. If you're an avoider, your job is to do, I like to do Money Mondays. I get it over with on Monday. I open all my accounts. I look at what's going out. And I look at what's going on and make the best action plan possible to reconcile anywhere that there's not enough. If you're an overspender or a money monk, your homework is to start a U bank account. Now, this is actually something that I recommend to every single one of my clients, and I'd love to invite every single one of you to adopt this practice, which means that you have a bank account that you never touch. You never touch it. So does that mean that if you need an extra $100 of rent money that you touch it? No. So does it mean if you want to go to a movie that you touch it? No. It's like a never touch account. It's like a U bank account. And if that thing grows, even by $50 a month, you will walk through the world feeling different. Because you will walk through the world having this feeling of there is an account out there that's for you. And it's growing. It's in positive cash flow. I don't care how much debt you have. If you have debt, this is even more important because you have to have a place where money's growing in your life. Does that make sense? To counter the paying down of the debt. So you do both. You pay down your debt. You put at least $50 in a bank account every month so you can watch it grow. Anybody resistance learners, like if a teacher's on stage telling you what to do, you like want to do it less? Raise your hand if that's kind of true for you. Okay, so for those of you with your hand up, definitely don't do this. If you don't want to change your relationship with money, just don't do it. Okay. If you're a hoarder, your homework is to really go out once a month and consciously buy yourself something. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but really treat yourself to something. So I want to get you in touch with this concept of your money set point. Your what, please? Set point. So you can increase it. So get that number of like the most you've ever made in 1 month in your head, approximately. And it's not from inheritance. It's just like the most that's ever come in from your efforts in 1 month. And if you haven't worked much, you can actually use your spouse's income because the energetic bubble of the two of you brought in that much money. And you might have been contributing to the house in a lot of other ways that helped bring that money in. So you can, if you want to, if you're a member of a team, use your spouse's income. So just get that number in your head. And then what I want you to do, in fact, yeah, just get that number in your head. And then what I want you to do is take the 5 highest money earning months that you think you've had in your life and average them. And you can just do a guesstimate, or you can get out your little calculator on your iPhone or whatever you want to do. But if you know you've had a month where you made $5 grand, and a month where you've made $4 grand, and a month where, and you usually make $2.5 grand, add those 5 up and divide by 5 so that you get kind of an average of what you usually make. And that's your money set point. And just jot it down on a piece of paper somewhere or type it into your iPhone. So this is kind of like your money set point. It's kind of like your money speedometer. The interesting thing about the speedometer analogy is that money's kind of like a cruise control set point. Like if you're used to making $5 grand a month, and all of a sudden you have 1 month where you know you're not going to make that much, something kicks in, doesn't it? And like kicks you into gear and is like, I need to get into action. Something's wrong here, right? I need to get back up to $5 grand a month. If you go too far over, it's kind of like cruise control, right? You're going down a hill. Cruise control kicks in and slows you down. This is kind of how our money set point works. It's an amount of money that we're sort of programmed and comfortable receiving. And so if we start to go beyond, oftentimes something will kick in energetically and just bring us back down. I can't tell you how many clients of mine have come and been like, yeah, I had this really good year a couple years ago, and then it all kind of came crashing down. Raise your hand if you've ever had any sort of a financial crisis in your life, in your past, where you felt like you were increasing your capacity to receive money and then it kind of went back down at all. Raise your hand loud and proud so people can just see you're not alone. Yeah, me too. I have too. I've had to really work on it to get stable. So what I'm going to have you do now is create a new money goal for yourself. A bold, sexy, exciting money goal. And it's like a goal where you're like, I would love if I could create $10,000 a month. Or I would love if I could have a $25,000 month. Or I would be freaking so excited if I could have a $5,000 month. I don't know how it's going to happen, but if I don't ask, the universe doesn't even know what I want, right? So then pass around the markers. The markers are there and there on the floor. So just grab a marker and pass it around. And I'm going to have you write that number down on your $1 bill. Because that $1 bill is supercharged, isn't it? Yeah, it's supercharged. So go ahead and write down that number on your $1 bill. And Michelle can help you get those numbers passed around. Well, what? So you guys pause for just a second. I don't think I was very clear. Well, you guys are passing the markers around. What I invited you to do was look at your financial set point, right? Look at that number that you're used to receiving it. Let's just play. Can we just play for a minute before you write down your number? Okay, so get that number in your mind. You have it in your mind? Your financial set point. It's the average of 5 months. Is anybody confused so far? You got it so far. Okay. Get that number in your mind and add a 0. What if that was possible? What if? What's your new number when you add a 0? Who will share? Yeah. 100,000. Nice. How about anybody else? Who else wants to share over here? When you add a 0, what is it? 120. What about over here? Who will share over here?
70.
100,000? 70,000. Awesome. So now what I want you to do is step into the limitless energy that I'm inviting you into and pick a sexy, bold money goal that's somewhere in between your money set point and the number I just invited you to imagine with the added 0. It can be anywhere in there, but it has to be enough more than what you're used to making to pull you forward a little bit. Like, how would that show up? And that's going to be a number that you can meditate on in your Santa Cruz Challenge workouts. It's going to be a number that just excites you. And it could be, I'm spitting on everybody, it could be, just a little bit more than what you're making now. Like, I wonder how fun it would be if extra $500 showed up next month. So take that number, that fun, bold goal, and just write it down on your $1 bill. Okay, and so what I have my clients do once they set their new sexy money goal, and I know that not all of you are entrepreneurs, so your imagination is going to go different places than where some of my clients' imagination goes. But I'm going to invite you to come up with, this is your homework, I don't want you to do this right now because we're running out of time, we need to get Dr. Tanya up here. But my invitation to you is to come up with at least 3 ways that new sexy money goal could come in for you. So some of my clients come up with things like, I'm going to get 10 new clients and I'm going to raise my rates to $500 a month and I'm going to give them more. I'm going to create handouts and workbook exercises and group meetings so that I can charge more, make it more valuable. I'm going to raise my rates to $500 a month and I'm going to get 10 new clients and that'll be $5,000 a month. Another one of my clients came up with the solution of renting out a room in her house and then getting 1 new VIP client. She's a business consultant, so she can charge that much, right? So it could be anything from having a garage sale to selling Girl Scout cookies, right? Like, sky's the limit, but what I've noticed is that when you start generating ideas on your own, the universe will oftentimes meet you halfway, and you're not just waiting for a miracle, right? So give someone a high five and say, no more waiting for a miracle. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs on an entrepreneurial path, I have a 3-day free event at the Asilomar in March. I would like to give you a free ticket to that event. The way that works is that I will have you put down a $100 seat deposit to save your seat so we know you're coming, because I write a $25,000 check just to do this event. And that way we know you're coming and we'll give you that $100 back when you come to the event. So that's a gift for challengers. The other gift that I have for you is that I'm doing a webinar on Thursday for anyone who has an entrepreneurial idea or you know you'd like to make money on your own and you're not quite sure how to monetize it. You don't quite know who your clients are exactly or how to market to them, but you have an idea of something you'd like to birth into the world. So that's a free webinar I'm doing on Thursday. If you want information about either of those events, the free virtual event or this 3-day, Rebecca's going to pass around a clipboard. Just put down your email address, and I will make sure you get the free ticket and the free link to the webinar. And if you don't want to keep receiving information from me, that's totally fine. I won't take it personally. Some of my clients have done amazing things. This is a gal that started up a radio show in the Bay Area, doubled her income, was able to quit her nanny job completely. What I love about Melanie is that she didn't want to work that hard. She had all her own ideas about what she wanted to do and what she didn't want to do. And the way that we set it up for her was totally in alignment with like how much she wanted to work. She was able to give all the marketing away, really. What I love about Tara is that she hated technology. She was like, whatever I do, I'm not doing internet marketing because I hate technology. She got her 11-year-old neighbor to set up her website for her. And now she's making $10,000 a month. Totally quit her job as a teacher. What I love about Rebecca is she was a yoga teacher that wanted to be able to put her son through college, and she's like, if I keep teaching yoga, I'm never going to be able to put my son through college. So we set her up. Leela was a lawyer. She came to me. She said, Sage, you have 6 months. I'm a lawyer. I make good money. I have to be able to replace my income or see that I can replace my income, or I'm going back to law. And I was like, okay, I'll do my best in 6 months. We replaced her legal income in about 9 months, but she could see that it was going to happen after 6 months, so we kept rocking it out. So whatever idea you have, whatever sense of expansion you'd like to step into about money, I just invite you to let my story inspire you. I thought I would be teaching school in Iowa the rest of my life, and I'm really grateful that I'm not. And I'm really grateful for every single partner and collaborative venture that has been a part of my journey. I've had mentors. I've done it in alliance with other entrepreneurs like Lita and Michelle and with Dr. Tanya, and I've worked together back and forth. She's an incredible, incredible doctor. I'm so glad she's here imparting her wisdom to you. I just invite you to not put a damper on any of those places where you want more, where you have desire. The last thing I'll say is that desire is literally a holy It's a holy indicator of where you're meant to go. Desire literally translates to of the sire, of the kingdom of God. And so how else would the universe be communicating with us, if not through our desires? So give someone a high five and say, keep having your desires. And thank you all so much for having me. I will see you on the beach. Yeah.
Not here, but is watching on the video camera. How did they get a hold of you?
Can I borrow this?
What you proposed?
Yeah, email us at support@sagelavine.com and just tell us you're a challenger, and we will get you a free ticket to both events. And you guys take your dollar bills home and put them on your bedside mirror, yes? It's got good energy in it. Thank you.